Today I will be showing you how to make this little monkey here, or little chimpanzee. So let's get started. I'm going to use this very same color as this little guy here, and you're welcome to use brown or whatever color monkey yours will be. So let's make the arms first, and we're going to make him have very long arms, so we're going to use 2 single rubber bands, and we're going to do that 5 times. So on your loom, 2 rubber bands, and we're going to go down 5 times like we're making a single. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, and try not to have it twisted or overlap, because then it looks all twisted once you take it off the loom. So let's go ahead and do it for the other arm. Again, 2 rubber bands, 2 singles at a time, and we're going down the loom 5 times. And then to make his fingers, I'm going to make it a little long, so we're going to take 2 single rubber bands and looping it once for each of his arms here. So we'll take a single, looping around once, and again taking another single and looping around once. That's one of his fingers. And now here's the other side, same thing, taking it and looping around once, taking a single, looping around it once. And now we're going to go under those cap bands and grab the bottom 2 and hooking it onto itself, and just keep repeating it till you get to the very top first rubber bands. Same thing for the other arms. Make sure you get under the cap bands. If you feel like it's coming off, go ahead and hold it down. And once you finish this, go ahead and put it on your holding hook. So take it off very carefully off your loom so you don't break your rubber bands. There are his arms, and it's going to be extra long again because he's a monkey. He needs long arms. So now let's make the ears, and to make the ears we're going to take 2 single rubber bands at the end of your loom there, and we'll do it 2 times on this peg to that peg and that peg to that peg, 2 single rubber bands. And we're going to take a single rubber band and we're going to loop it around 3 times. And we are going to do that twice for each ear. So that's a single rubber band looping around 3 times. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then go ahead and get under those cap bands. Reach all the way under, grabbing the 2 bottom rubber bands and looping it onto itself. And now get your hook and put it on your holding hook for later. There are his ears. And now let's do the eyes, and we'll make it the easy way. We are going to take 2 single blue, and we are going to, well, whatever color eye you want. I tend to always use blue. I'm going to take that single blue and loop it around 4 times on your hook. And then we're going to take a single white, doubling it, and just get all that blue right onto your rubber band, the white single. And it's the same thing if you want to do it on the loom. You can take a single white, double it, put it on the end of your loom, and capping it off 4 times. and go under those cap bands. Grab the bottom two and looping it onto itself. And then you can put it on your hook. Just take it off very carefully. There's the second eye. And now since it's going on the face, and his face will be mainly black, we are going to put it on a black rubber band. So take a single black rubber band, put it on your middle finger, and then scooching your eyes right onto that. You can make your eyes also like the penguin and my other animals too. It'll look the same, but I'm choosing to do this style for this monkey. So there's the eyes. And now let's go ahead and make our monkey. We'll start from the top of our head, and I'm going to use black. So starting with 2 single rubber bands, we are going diagonally from the top of the loom, and we're going 2 down with black. Again on the other side, diagonally, and 2 down, 2 single rubber bands at a time. And then we are going to use white to bring it to his chin, so 2 single whites from the side to the chin peg, which is the 4th down from the top. And repeat it on this other side. And make sure you push that chin peg rubber bands all the way down so they don't overlap, but yet they're at the bottom. And now let's work on the center of the face. I'm using 2 single blacks from the top center to the next one. And this next rubber band here is that white in between here. If you want it black, go ahead and use black, but I'm going to use white. So my next one will be 2 whites, and then right down to the chin, 2 whites. So that completes our face. And now we're going to do the body. Again, 2 single rubber bands from the chin peg diagonally. We can repeat on the other side diagonally, and we're going to come down 3 times on either side with 2 single rubber bands. 2, 3, and then we can bring it to his bottom there on one side and push it down. Now let's do the other side. And then the last one to his bottom. And now here I have a little white on his belly. So the first rubber band, if you want it all white, you can use white. I'm going to use black. So for my chin peg, 1 down, I'm using black. And then I'm going to use white. And if you want his tummy to be a little thicker, then you can use more than 2. But I'm just going to use 2. So from the next 2 pegs down, it'll be white. And then I'm choosing to have his bottom here black. So I'm going to put 2 black rubber bands. Again, you can change up your monkey and having him whatever color you want. Now let's do his legs. Same thing, we're going to start from these 2 pegs, and we're going to come down 2 single rubber bands 5 times to make it extra long. 2, 3, 4, 5, and repeat on the other side. Okay, now that you have his legs on there, we can cap it off using 2 single rubber bands, one at a time, just once. Just loop it around once. And repeat on the other side. Take a single, loop it once, take another single, loop it once. And now we can cap off his bottom there, and you can loop it 3 or 4 times, whichever you want to do or can do. And I'm of course gonna do 4. So there, and now let's add his various parts. We'll start with his eyes, and we're going to put it from the second peg from the top across. There's his eyes, and you can split them out so it should look like that, and again you can fix it later once he's off. And his ears, it's since we want our monkey ear to be on somewhat on the side, we're going to put it on the same eye peg there. So go ahead and take it off your hook, making sure all your rubber bands get on that peg there. There are his ears. And now let's put our holding rubber bands. So taking single rubber bands, we are going to loop it around that ear and eye. And if you want, you can pull it right under the ear so it doesn't pop off. So that's a single rubber band around the eye and the ear. So I'm going to take a single white and looping it like a triangle around the mouth. And now let's do the belly. Take a single black twice there and here. So now we are ready to take them or start looping him. So starting with the feet, going under all those cap bands, reach under, grab the bottom 2 and looping it onto itself. Make sure you hold on to all that cap band so it doesn't slide off. If it does, it's not a big deal because it's already caught by the teardrop. And just go ahead and continue up one side till you get to his thigh there and stop where his leg meets the body. And then let's go ahead and do the other leg. Reach under the cap bands, grab the bottom 2, hold down your cap bands, and looping it onto itself. And now we're going to reach under his bottom there, under all that cap bands. And we're going to grab the top 2, which is the ones going up the middle of the belly there. So if you can't see it, just kind of pull it to the side like I did. Grab it, hold down the cap bands. You should see teardrops forming and looping it onto itself. Again, reach under the cap bands, grab the next top 2. Mine's going to the left. Whichever yours goes to, just go ahead and take it there and looping onto itself. And now we can go ahead and go up the shoulder and stop at the shoulder. Make sure you reach all the way under, grabbing the bottom 2 and looping it onto itself. Pull all the holding rubber bands back if you have any. Let's go on the other side. Now that you have it there, let's go ahead and add his arms. Take it off your holding hook, put it in the loops. Grab the rubber band for the shoulder out of the peg, hold down that rubber band so it doesn't come off the other side, and then looping it right onto the chin peg. Now let's do the other arm. Same thing, put your hook through the loops, grabbing the shoulder rubber band and scooch it right onto that shoulder rubber band and looping it onto itself. And now let's do the belly. Now we're just going to grab the whites. You want to check to make sure you have teardrops all down your body, so that way you know you're doing it correctly and that everything's caught. So your last rubber band should be the one that loops from in the torso area right to the chin peg. And now that you've done that, check to make sure again that all your rubber bands are caught by those teardrops. And let's go ahead inside the chin peg there, pull the black back, grab the top two whites, and it should be the ones going to the center of the face and looping it onto itself. Again, reach back in there, grab the next two whites. I think mine's going to the right. Yep. And if there's any tension, release it. And now the last two, all the way at the bottom, and looping it onto itself. Again, release any tension there may be. And now, since we have teardrops all down our body, everything's all set, let's add his little mouthpiece here to make him monkey-like. So let's go ahead and push all your rubber bands around the cheek area here, and the nose, and the chin. So these 4 pegs there, and push his arms, the shoulders, all the way down. So you're exposing, because we are adding another layer to those rubber pegs. So mine will be white. So I'm taking 2 single, starting from the 3rd peg from the top and down, and we'll do that one more time. 2 single rubber bands, down 1. Now we're taking a single rubber band, we are going to double it, and we're going to put it from the 3rd peg to the 4th peg on the side, and repeat on the other side. Let's take a single rubber band, doubling it, and putting it from the 3rd to the 4th. And now to make his cheek a little thick, we're going to take 2 single rubber bands and putting it from the 4th peg to the center 5th peg. And we'll repeat on the other side. Take 2 single rubber bands and putting it from the 4th peg to the center 5th peg. And there you should complete his mouth. And since we don't want him to be extra tight or anything, we can put a single rubber band across there from the 3rd peg across, and then we'll do another holding one right below it, making a triangle. So a single there, triangle there, and then we'll cap his mouth off. And if you want it different color, like pink or something, that's a mouth rubber band there, you can, but I'm going to just choose to leave it white. So we'll take that single rubber band and we're going to cap that 5th center peg from the top just twice, leaving him some lips. And now we're ready to loop. To loop, we're going to go ahead and reach under that cap band, grabbing the top 2 rubber bands, and it should, mine's going to the right, whichever way yours is going, go ahead and take it there, and looping it onto itself. Again, reach inside the cap band, grab the next 2 layer, the top 2 layer, and bring it onto itself, and then the last 2 should go right in the center. And go ahead, go on either side, go under all those rubber bands. If you can't see it, pull it down to the side, reach all the way in. Make sure you grab that white and looping it onto itself. And same thing on the other side. We're going under all the rubber bands, grab the two bottom whites. That's a part of the cheek of the mouth area, and looping it onto itself. And now let's do the center. Grab the two whites that we just put on and looping it right onto the nose. Peg right between the eyes. The third peg from the top. Okay, so now our mouth area is done. And now we're going to reach in on the side pegs there, the third one down, reach all the way in past all those white rubber bands. And we are going to grab the bottom black too and looping it onto itself. Remember, if there's any tension, don't force it. Use your hook to release it. Same thing on the other side. We're going to reach all the way in. If you want, push everything up, grabbing the bottom two. And that black rubber band, the two will be catching all those rubber bands, holding our monkey's face in place. So now go ahead and go up the side of the face, reach in, grab, pulling everything back, grab the bottom two, and looping it onto itself, right onto the forehead. Let's continue on the other side, pulling everything back, grab the bottom two rubber bands, creating the teardrops, and looping it onto itself. Now let's go in that third peg from the top, grabbing the bottom two whites and looping it onto itself. And yours is different color, that's okay, just grab those two. And now finishing it off with that last rubber band. And you should look to make sure you have teardrops all around your monkey and all his rubber bands are catching. And if you want him to have a little tuft of hair on top, you can. You just use two single rubber bands. I'm just going to use one and tie the slip knot. Slip in there, grab your rubber band, pull it through to tie your slip knot. And with two, you can, cut the ends off and he'll have a little tuft of hair on top of his head. So now that we've done that, let's go ahead and take him off the loom. I'm going to release the mouth here a little bit. Let's work on the forehead and just ease him off the loom. Careful not to force anything so you don't break your rubber bands. And if your eyes are in the back, don't worry. Just go ahead and pull it to the front because the rubber bands tend to move all over the place when you take it off the loom. Just make sure you don't break your rubber bands. There's your little monkey. Pull his eyes out and fix it later. Again, you can cut this off, fix his ears, his arms, pull it, and he should be able to sit upright like a monkey should, like that. And again, you can cut this off to make the tuft, and there he is. Pretty perfect. So now, let's go ahead and make the tail. And for the tail, I made it extra long because he's a monkey and you can make a lot longer. But there's not, you can loop it around your loom, but I'm just going to make him 12 length down. So for the tail, we're going to take a single rubber band, we're going to double it, and starting at the top of the loom, just keep doing that process like we're doing a single, all the way down your loom. And once you're at to the end there, go ahead and take a single rubber band and loop it around 4 times to make the end of his tail extra tight. And go ahead and loop it, going in the cap band and looping it onto itself. Just go right up. So once you're here, take a single rubber band, loop it through to hold all their tail together and take it off the loom very carefully. There's his monkey tail, and you can make it longer and curl it. And now we'll take our little guy and go right in his behind there. Find your rubber bands right in between his bottom and put your hook through the loops. Pull it through to create a kind of like a slip knot. Pull his tail through. And there you have it. There's your little monkey or chimpanzee. I hope you like him. Thanks for watching.